We're back. What's good, everybody? Welcome to the dopest podcast. We're talking about comics and people who bring them to you. So this is season 2. And if you haven't followed up season 1, go back to our YouTube channel. You're going to find a plethora of things. Yes, I used a SAT word, plethora. So season 2 of a Back to Basics, a comic book podcast. And we're gearing up to bring you spectacular guests and creatives so you get to meet everybody and anybody who's doing the dopeness, not just from, the basic, folks who are like Marvel and DC. We're talking about people who are really helping us out in the creative space. So what's different about our podcast? Well, we are geeked about the story of the people doing the storytelling. That's what's different. So it's just as important to us as we dive into the person's background and who they are. That explains and also gives us a little bit more information on why they are in the business. And it also gives you an update or highlight their creation. So comics are a portal to people's inspiration, challenges, triumphs, and courage. The Back to Basics teams whose passion for comics is unparalleled. We are committed to bring you great content. My name is Gen X, and I'm proud to be one of the co-hosts of the B2B. You want to call it for short, B2B. It's a lot easier. My sister, Miss Ebony Keys, I believe you coined that. You shortened it up. So I appreciate you. I'm Gen X, and I'm a latchkey kid from Brooklyn, New York, by way of parents from the island of Puerto Rico. I'm so excited to share my opinions and thoughts around comics and how they relate to our identities. I love this community, and we have had such a pleasure of being your ambassadors and your favorite podcasters. I know you tell everybody every day that we're the favorite podcasters, and now we're in season 2. And now we'll pass it off to my sister from another Miss Ebony Keys.
My name is Miss Ebony Keys. Yes, you know me, Miss Ebony Keys from the Sunshine State. And I'm proud to be here with you all to throw some education your way while I captivate your minds that bring us back to basics. This trio has been working hard to change the game, and we don't do it without the support of our community, friends, and family. And drum roll.
Y'all know who it is. I'm gonna just keep it short and sweet. It's your boy Tempos, bringing comics and culture to your ear. I do say I am the one with the most completed sets. I read everything from indie, Marvel, DCs, and I could talk to you forever about everything. Big advocate. So let's get this started.
All right, we're going to get it started because we want to make sure you get as much time with our creative and guests. So we started this podcast to ensure that the sanctity and nostalgia we have for our heroes, villains, and everything else under the sun and between that is seen through different lenses. So you can count on us to tackle themes and also make sure we're always bringing you back to basics as our namesake is. If you like what you're hearing, we need you to do something for us real quick. We need you to come through for us. So please, let's get our subscribers, our connectors. We want your grandmother on this podcast, okay? Please tell everyone about our show. Make sure you subscribe to our channel, like, share, and most importantly, follow us on Instagram, IG. So each of us are personalities in our own right and communicate through Instagram primarily and post our next shows through IG. So as you can see, we have our name tags, our names right here. Those are our tags for our IGs. They're the short and sweet to get us and connect with us, okay? You can count on us to always bring amazing content. So also remember to follow us on IG at @backtobasics__ comic podcast. I know it's long, but you'll remember it. Once you got it, it's good. So today we have a great show for you. Our special guest is an amazing creative. And hopefully the promo didn't say it all. I mean, the promo was just a little inkling of what you'll see. So Jamie McAfee has been writing since she could hold a pencil, a dynamic author and screenwriter from the vibrant city of Orlando, Florida, which two of my co-hosts are from Florida. They reside in Florida. She is a master of storytelling across various mediums and genres. Her passion for writing sees no bounds in carving out a niche as a versatile wordsmith. She covers it all of it, from heartwarming children's books that whisk young readers away on enchanted adventures, on gripping novellas that keep readers on the edge of their seats, and a comic book that leaves readers saying, wow. An unwavering love for crafting original stories is at the core of Jamie's creative journey. With the promising future ahead, Jamie remains committed to exploring new horizons, captivating readers and viewers, and leaving an indelible mark on the world of storytelling. She has a bachelor's from the University of Central Florida in film and creative writing. So without further ado, let's bring in our guest of today. Awesome. Welcome, Jamie, to the B2B podcast. And how's everything going? How you been?
Thank you. Very good. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to share more about Alexis and Alexis Wyle and myself. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, we can't wait to hear. We met a few times, and we have so many questions for you. To be quite honest, because we like the book so much, and we can't wait for the next episode. So the next issues, we need a movie. We need all the stuff that comes with it.
Exactly.
So hopefully we can get you around there. Everybody, hook her up. So we know you have some exciting news too that you'll be sharing a little bit later, and you're making your rounds around the speaking arenas. We wanted to thank you for coming here. We really appreciate you stopping through the B2B podcast and blessing us with your time. First question out the gate that we always ask our guests is, tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us about your background, your upbringing, and your identities, your influences. You know, what is Jamie's growth and particularly where you are now? What does that look like from the beginning of your stages in life?
That was a mouthful. That's a whole
From beginning of time, tell us your story.
My life. No. So yeah, no, I am the definition of a writer and have been since I was a kid, literally from I started with short stories and poems, and that moved into songwriting. I really wanted to be a songwriter when I was younger, and I kind of fell out of love with music a bit, and then moved into other forms of writing, which I'll come back to songwriting at some point, but that's another day. But but no, I went from that and writing books, and I just always have. I've always written children's books and the novellas, and I was raised in Orlando, so I basically grew up around storytelling with going to Disney and the theme parks, and then all of the different TV series that have always been some type of magical, whimsical way about them.
Right.
So I've always enjoyed watching shows that I would hopefully do my own original versions of in this.
You said you watched a lot of stuff. What stuff did you watch as a kid that really kind of connects to this medium?
Oh, you know what? I was the Nickelodeon kid, so I was more of the like Rugrats, Doug, and your Real Monsters.
Right.
I used to watch all those.
Yeah.
Right.
Religiously.
Like, I've always been a bit offbeat with the stories that I like. So whether they're a little dark and twisty, I think my writing's a bit dark and twisty, obviously, with Alexis Wyle and some of the other stuff that I've worked on. But yeah, cool. I either want to get scared, learn a lesson, or get something out of something that I've written.
Oh my gosh, we're gonna jump deep into that stuff because we need to know more. But yeah, go ahead, Tempos.
No, yeah, because I've seen that she writes a lot of books and she does poetry. You do poetry also.
Yeah,
So
and I have a poetry book that's actually supposed to be out right now, but I will go back to that. I haven't had any time to kind of wrap that up. But yeah, so I'll have a book out this year that people have been asking me about for a minute now.
is that It's Crazy Outside My Head?
Yes.
I was looking at that one. I was like, damn, a lot of dark poetry. Because I grew up on poetry books, those scary dark tales.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, what's in this book? And it says coming soon, so I really wanted it to be out so I could get my hands on it.
I'll have to do it before the summer. Hopefully,
Nice.
I'll get that one out. It was supposed to already be out. I mentioned it in another project I wrote, and I'm like, yeah, it's supposed to be out, and I'm like, it's not out yet. My boss
Something to look forward to. Something to look forward to.
It's coming.
So growing up as a kid, what were some other things that really, that are nostalgic for you that kind of help you write these stories, these, imagination, going amok?
Right. No, it's honestly my stories, they always come. I say like my imagination is like my biggest inspiration because I can imagine a whole world and then feelings. So I'm a person that writes based off feelings. So if I'm upset, then it's gonna come out a little darker. If I'm really happy, then I'll probably give you a few rain of sunshine lines, like a few good things. So it's definitely based off feelings, even with the comic book Alexis Wyle. She's very poetic character, so that is a little bit of me in there.
Okay. I could see that. I
Actually left Orlando when I was 21, and I moved to Philadelphia and then Atlanta, which Atlanta is kind of where I found my love for TV and film the most, because I was working on a lot of sets. I was doing a lot of background, extra, all of the things. And I was like, well, I want to go back and get a BA in something because I had an AA. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to go back to school, but it needs to be in something that I really, enjoy and what I want. So I decided I wanted a film degree. So I came back down to Orlando, went to UCF, and I got my cinema studies degree. And not, I mean, it was good because it kind of steered and helped me learn exactly what I wanted to do with that. And, it kind of gives you the tools, kind of like the businessy side of tools, I would say,
right,
working on things more so. Because you always have the creative. With me, I feel like if you're a writer, you're a writer. You don't really learn to be a writer, I don't think. That's probably just, with me, I feel like it's always just been in me. to tell stories and write. I just always have. So it's like a natural thing, which, you can learn writing skills, but I feel like when you're a storyteller, you're like either a storyteller or you're just like a little maybe AI, like you're like trying to make it happen. But no, it definitely gave me some tools that I wouldn't have gotten just on my own. So
you gotta learn all you can, especially learn the logistics part of it, so you can learn the little parts of it, so you can be broader when you come out with something. So that's very smart.
Yeah. And film, it's another big goal of mine is to make a movie. So I have 3 screenplays that I'm hopefully going to be pitching. I started pitching before the pandemic, and then the pandemic kind of veered me off to the side and messed up a few things. But yeah, I'm like, still, movies are in the future. I have to make a movie.
Animated or live?
Those would be live actions. Yes, live ones. But I would love an animated. When it comes to Alexis Wyle, I would love animated.
That would be dope.
I have some children's show ideas. So
that's awesome.
Yes, working on things.
So we got a lot of questions for you about Alexis and the story, because we were literally talking about every nook and cranny of the book. As I told you at the beginning, I was literally like, girl, don't trust nobody. Don't trust anybody. Okay. And I thought I was in a movie theater at that point. I was like, don't trust them. I was the one yelling out in the movie theater, people shushing me.
Hey, Jamie, what's going on, girl?
Hi. I feel like you're like my bestie from afar already.
Because we are. We're besties and we're family at the same time.
Okay.
All right. So when I first picked up this book, like I told you before, it had grabbed my attention from the get-go. All right. From the different elements, like from the I think they're called Delphors. They look like the mechanical praying mantises, and you got the Zelpods, and I was like, I like this. I'm like, yes. And the characters, you got I'm not going to say it all because I don't want to ruin it, because whoever's watching this, you're going to have to read the book. But anyways, Can you dive deep into the world of Alexis Wyle and what inspired your venture into creating this amazing book?
So Alexis Wyle, she is in a very uh she comes from obviously the normal world. It's Earth was taken over by essentially a hell king that has brought them to this realm that is essentially a hellscape that they are surviving in. And where you pick up in the book is 10 years into this time. So you kind of reflect in this book in the past, present, and where the future will be taking them. So I really wanted it to kind of have moments of each. So she kind of reflects on the past and what happened and dreaming of what she wishes could be again, but instead it's like, no, I'm stuck in this world and we have to kind of just survive and make way. And it's a whole world that they are in and just engulfed in crazy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was crazy, but it was a good crazy. I loved it. I loved every minute of it.
Yes, she's very Alexis is a very cool character. She's very, I wanted her to be very diverse, and she is a complicated character because that for me is what a woman doesn't have to be one thing. So she can be adventurous and exciting and kind of funny, but also she's got a dark side where maybe, she has thoughts of other things or and that's the whole thing is that she's kind of has the darkness almost flirting with her a bit, and that's like she wears the steel crest over her chest to protect her heart because she is, or I guess could be open to an influence from outside, and that is her way of protecting, which we'll learn some more in the future about her inner self. But yeah, it's humans, they are skins now, so they can also be influenced by darkness, and so you never really know who you're talking to.
Yeah, because we were talking about like because I know that in the story it mentioned that what was it? It said that time basically started over, and
Yeah.
we were trying to figure out like, okay, what is 3648 and what's 2 BCF? So we're like sitting there like trying to we're trying to make things up. I was like, no, that don't sound right. Okay, what? Yeah, break that down for us a little bit because we would like to know. We like to know.
I want to know if those are the lottery numbers for next week.
Okay.
That amount of time, it actually equals out to 10 years. So when counted, the 3,000, oh my God, you said the number. I don't even remember the number. I would have to look. But 36, that's actually
3648.
Yes, 3648 is actually the time in minutes would equal to 10 years. So that's where they are.
Oh, okay. Man, we were
She
way
explained
off.
that so easy.
Well, I know, right? We were way off.
We were all over the place.
Yeah, it's just kind of just how that's how they have counted to keep things kind of going.
There we go.
Something today.
There we go. All right, so our checklist is now down one. We got one thing answered. Now we're well versed in numbers and time.
Yes. There won't be that many numbers. I'm terrible at math, but no, but it's cool. There's a lot of Easter eggs throughout the book as well that I want to tie to future things and hope people pay attention to them and pick up on their own. I try not to. I don't want to say everything so that they can piece things together. I'm sure. I hope you guys piece some things together. I don't even want to mention it.
Oh,
We're
gonna be looking out now. Like, we're gonna be on the lookout.
I know one of the enemies that I like is because I'm a drone flyer, and I like the drones.
Yeah.
Where the camera's supposed to be is like this laser. I was like, man, this is pretty cool because I ride drones as much as I can. Go to the beach, and I'm looking at it like, man, she did a great job with these drones. Like it's That's an easy way. It reminds me of like the Ninja Turtles when they had those little ones coming after the turtles, those little rat looking
Yeah.
robots. And it
Yes.
was always pestering them and coming after them in waves. It's like, man, so she made like a wave of enemies that can come up out of nowhere and fly into her. Not to get to tell the story, but it's like it was great. I like that part as the villains.
So why is Alexis Wyle important for the comic book community?
I can go back to her kind of being a character that defines almost like all the sides of a woman and a strong Black female, because
Right.
we all wear our feelings on our shoulders. We all feel things kind of very deeply with just trying to get through the world. And she has all of that, but also overcomes a lot of things by being so strong physically,
Right.
mentally. She's very smart. She knows how to handle things, and she's also like a loner, so like she wants some alone time, and can go off on her own, which you see that in the story as well. Like she's like, I'm good, I don't need you guys all the time.
Right. I got it.
Yeah.
I have a question though, because we haven't talked about Rhapsidius, right?
Mhm.
Rhapsidius, he's
Rhapsidius,
the big bad. He
he's
is
the
very,
big bad.
yeah. And we don't really say his name. We don't really know exactly his form, because
My bad.
he's very, very scary, and he can get into your mind.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So he
Duly
manipulates.
noted. Duly
Yeah.
noted. He who shall not be named.
He'll let you.
And how about Kane and Rain? Those are the two other folks. I found them dynamic. It was really cool, especially Kane.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's very cool. He's a big guy, which eventually you'll learn more about each of their backgrounds in the future. But they all came together because they all kind of needed something from each other to form this team, and just are trying to protect the skins, the people that are left in this world, and try and figure out a way out. So you have Kane, who's like the he's this big muscle man who's kind of like the brawn, and then you have Sab, who is the brains of it. He in his former life, I can tell you each of those. So like Kane, he used to, which I think I've posted a little bit about this, but Kane used to be a boxer in the real world and on Earth. And we have Rain, who was just a kid when she came to, or was sucked into this realm. So she's kind of grown up in it. And
Wow.
it's kind of under Alexis's, like a little sister for her. And
Right.
so she protects her so much. But then you have Sav, who is like former teacher. He's very smart and just all around. He's kind of like their builder of the team. So you'll learn so much about. You get a little glimpse of them in this book, but
It's a nice hero's journey. Yeah.
yeah, they each have interesting stories.
Is anybody from the book created from like someone in your life?
Honestly, I would not. I wouldn't say that they're from people in my life. They kind of are just. They
Created.
are, yeah, creative characters that are from my imagination. Like I
Gotcha.
just developed them. What I guess they're kind of people that I would want on my team if I was so. You got to have muscles, you got to have a brain, and you got to have a bestie.
Facts.
So
Exactly.
you need all of that.
But it's a good hero's journey tale, and I definitely like those kind of stories because it builds and it shows what's each origin and past life, and then how they met each other. So I'm definitely glad to have learned about the book and getting into it, and I can't wait for the future.
That artwork is fire too. It's really different, and I like it a lot.
It
Very
is.
He's amazing. The praying mantises, that was him. So like he took kind of what I said and then just came up with these crazy looking things. So
I loved it.
he's really great. He's artist out of California. So yeah, you guys can follow him art on Instagram. He's amazing.
Nice.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
we followed him immediately.
Okay.
His
Okay.
style is pretty cool.
He did an amazing job. I literally I could not have imagined a better appearance for these characters.
What is the legacy you'll like to leave behind as a creative, and why? That's the last question I got for you.
Well, which that's a tough. It's like, what do I want to leave behind? Honestly, it is like you said, a hero's journey. But I would really just like for people to take away to never give up and to keep going. So it's even if it's a message of hope that there is, though you are in this darkest phase of things, you still have to fight in order to change that. And that's something that Alexis is doing. That's the whole point, is she's surviving because she can see that there could be an end to the darkness, and it, to move everything. For people, I mean, people just they gotta keep working at things that they want. So even if they take just my own story of just continuing, because I always say I'm all the things that I want to do, and I always make sure that I finish it. So even if it takes 10 years from now for me to make a movie, I'm going to get that movie done, and it will happen. Mark this now. Let's check in 10.
Right.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen.
You put it out in the universe.
Right. And we were there first when she said
Yes. Well, I know you're a woman of many talents, and so I also wanted to talk a little bit more about your book, the book The Seed. And can you tell us a little about that journey and writing in that book as a literary, piece of fiction? And then how different is that process from writing your comic book?
Okay, so The Seed actually, which I love The Seed, it's such a fun story that I wrote. That is one of the films that I wrote. So it was a completed screenplay, and it was one that I was pitching to different people. And it's funny because I started getting feedback that I didn't quite agree with in the storytelling. And it was the whole premise of The Seed is women that have kind of had enough of the world, and they're ready to change things in their favor, which couldn't be more true than today. What we are living in is rights being taken away, men, sorry guys, but men getting away with things that they shouldn't get away with, and doing things to women. And sorry guys, not you guys specifically, but there's some um and it's just there is there's essentially Emerson, who is the lead character, and she's a Black female in the book, who is a lawyer, and she's very, very cool. And she's basically, I don't want to say accosted, but a lady named Kendra kind of talks her into coming to a meeting where she brings her into her plan and introduces her to these ideals of taking over the world and saying why she needs her. So Emerson basically loses the case of her life, and she just wants to then help women in any way they can. So it's by any means necessary, they take over the world. And that is, it's very action, it's very entertaining, very fun novella, because that's what it is. It's a shorter story. But no, it was a film that I don't know if you've ever seen on Netflix, like Gunpowder Milkshake.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's kind of that type of vibe, but it's kind of sad, kind of fun. It's kind of a blend of everything. But yeah, I hope that still it'll be a movie one day. But but yeah, The Seed is very interesting. It was very I had fun writing it, and I included women from all around the world. I had somebody I knew in Turkey that read it, another person
Nice.
in California that read it, Atlanta. I had all this input from different ladies that just, you know, loved it, or they were like, oh, why wouldn't you add this into it? This is what, you know, like this should happen, if this should happen, if all these different things that they like. And I tried to include just little hints of things and take in their ideals, with my own twist on that, for the novella version. And
You had an impromptu focus group that chimed in after you already wrote your book.
yeah, it was very fun to go back and just see what different ways that people would see things as twisting. But it's a fun novella. I need to promote it more. I was promoting a lot on TikTok and such, which it's just very hard to reach certain people when it's a strong message. I feel it kind of gets a little suppressed, and that's what I was going back to. So I wrote it as a novella because the feedback that I was getting was that I was going too hard on men, and I thought that was silly. I was like, but would it be if it was the opposite? Are we gonna the chat?
Correct.
So, like, if it was
Correct.
the opposite, would people be saying like, "Oh, you're going too hard on a woman"? You know, no, they wouldn't say that. It would. But I keep it real. You know, that is what the book is, and women have a lot of feelings now, especially in the current state of the world. So I hope I call it the blueprint. If women would pay attention, we can be in charge of our lives a little bit more.
Yeah, for sure. So with that said, how is that that writing the novella versus the comic book?
So it's honestly the novella was very different because that was coming from the screenplay. The novella and screenplay, they're more I want to say more developed in the way you can say more, you can fill in blanks. And with the comic, I actually found the comic very difficult because I'm like, I will write a very long thing. They're like, that's not gonna fit in a bubble, you know, like you have to like break it down a little bit more for the comics and make sure it's in there, which you kind of see at the beginning of the book. It's almost like a journal entry from Alexis where she can write all of her feelings, and then it moves into the normal comic form. But yeah, that's the difference. It is.
So let's say if you could go back in time, what advice, knowledge, or self-talk would you give yourself about the journey of publishing?
My advice would be to really look ahead with your preparedness, because there were some things I started last year, literally a year ago, doing an Indiegogo, and I was like, oh, you know, once you get kind of the funds, then that will help and you'll move into different things. But things pile up even after you've done the comics. So like being prepared, it's sad because money is a big part of comic making, and it
Right.
still is, especially when you're self-publishing, because you're putting everything into it. So if you don't love this thing, you're doing it for no reason, because you really it's tough in general to be self-publishing your work because you don't really get anything in return for quite some time. It's going to take a minute, and you have to be in it for the long haul, and make sure that you're prepared for that. So like think your flyers and your posters and getting books for yourself in advance and all of that. It's rough out here.
So a lot of discipline. So
Yes.
being disciplined and focused. That's definitely some good advice. So for people who are beginning their journey, what would you have them do to prepare, or let's say educate themselves, you know, while they're doing their journey?
Definitely know your audience to begin with. Who are you talking to? And I honestly just get out there, and if I could start over, I probably would have gone out to talk to people more in the beginning, which that is how I started. I started walking around by myself in the convention, just passing out flyers and talking about myself and trying to get people, you know, into it to follow whatever. But no, just more get in touch with people that are in the business, that are already doing what you want, and get advice from them and kind of look at what they're doing and how
Right.
you would do it in your own way.
So tailor their life to what they're wanting to do and pursue.
Yeah. No
Awesome.
copy, but
Yeah.
look at other people. Look
I got you.
It's a way of connections because you want to connect with a lot of people. And I've found that connecting with my peers is nothing but a plus. So like, and everybody in the comic world, I will say this versus novella or even the children's book side, everybody in the comic world is like open to like talking to you and they want to link up on the indie side. And
Nice.
I noticed in the start there were people like, oh, it's difficult to start an indie book. It's near impossible to do it and all of that. And I'm like, bet.
Challenge accepted.
Right.
Sure it is. No, okay. No, but you got to keep at it if you want it.
So is there any updates or announcements you'd like to share? Any new?
Yeah, so April 26th, I will be at Gods and Monsters doing my first signing, which is really exciting. I'm excited to bring the book and actually have a table to sit and give to people. And I'm gonna have posters and postcards and all the fun stuff. So hopefully a little bit more than that. You've got to just keep up with the website, because alexiswyle.com. I'm gonna update. I'll be adding some character profiles soon and some other things on the book. And pay attention because I'm definitely going to be doing a Kickstarter at some point for book 2.
Yeah, don't leave us out there hanging. We still trying to figure out. We still have a couple more questions. I'm gonna jump in on it. The actual cover of the heart. You talked about it, but let's go further. Let's talk more about that. Temples and I, we were like, what? She has a cover over her heart. And then her boyfriend, Keo, right?
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
Keo.
Yeah.
Love of her life was taken from her when they did the little the change, the crossover into the realm. And he's one where he's on the dark side of things now, because he goes by also his another name he goes by is Nihil, which is kind of underneath the Hell Kane. He's a vessel they kind of want to use. So it's like a lover's quarrel, because now the one thing she loves she can never kill. So we're going to be bouncing heads a bit with that in the future.
Come on, Keo. Get your life together, Keo.
But it's so
come
bad.
on.
You don't know.
Keo is slipping. That's how I see it. Keo, get back to your girl. Let her take that plate off of her chest. Come on, man.
Well, we got to read into it to figure out what happened and what led him to that, and you know what's going to happen also. So definitely looking forward to that also.
You get a tiny hints in the book.
Yeah. See? You see what I'm saying? I need book 2 like tomorrow. I need it tomorrow. I need book 3 and 4. So how many books have you written? Like, are you ready? Are you almost ready?
I've got 2 and 3 written.
Wow.
So yeah. Damn. Once we get to 2, then I'll start moving on to 4, so I can have 2 in there. I mean, hopefully I'll be able to do the next 2 kind of simultaneously. We'll see.
Okay. And you're going to partner with the same artist for each cover?
100%. Marky's got to stay. So
that's one of the big things. I think that was what we're going to ask you. I'm glad you found someone consistent. Specifically, like a lot of indie folks have to kind of basically, you know, funding is hard, and then being able to pay artists, and then you have to also fulfillment and all the other stuff. But to keep things consistent with your book and the guts of the book and the cover have, for some people that's important. So if the cover and the guts of the book don't look good, then people will not buy. So I'm glad you kept it consistent that he's on board for the other issues.
That's another thing that's really cool in the book. If you notice, there's kind of a scene where she's like running past a wall and there's a bunch of names.
Yeah.
Those are names of people that contributed in the Indiegogo to have their name in the book.
That's
That's
pretty
cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
So
that's really cool.
Yeah. I would like that. I would like that if it was a part of that. I'll put that up on my wall.
That's a good idea.
Book, I might keep it up. We'll see.
I'm gonna have to attach myself to the next one. Are you planning to do a couple variants for the next editions for your Kickstarter?
Yeah, I would love to do different covers of it as well. So yeah, even this one, I would love to do another cover for it.
We need issues 2. We need book 2 and 3.
Yes.
And I think, oh man, this thing is driving me crazy because now you've given me a timeline, but you haven't. And I'm like, it's just like the movie, the show 24. I used to have anxiety attacks every week because I had to wait. What are some of the socials, your website, and also we'll leave the motivational quote for the end, but how can people get in touch with you? Maybe reach out to you. What is the best way to do that?
So they can go, look, Instagram I'm probably the most active with, so they can always go to see me on JM Storyteller. That's mine, so JM and then Storyteller, and then AW Comic for Alexis Wyle's official Instagram page. And we also have TikTok. We're at Alexis Wyle, so you can go on there. And yeah, the website, we got alexiswyle.com and then jamiemcafee.com. Yeah.
Awesome.
For Mark on Instagram, that's what he's on.
So what motivational quote or inspiration, maybe even a story that you'd like to share with us that really personifies you as a creative, but also the things that you've been maybe want to leave folks to kind of ponder about, investing in you, participating in your, IG conversations, keeping up to date, just people really wanting to invest in you. Because part of this podcast is really, we wanted to shine you and give you your flowers and give you your plate for your heart, so that way you can always be prepared. I mean, I don't know what the cosplay piece is going to look like when you start tabling and people showing up. But we've seen it. People really are investing. So what are some motivational quotes or even a story that really reflects what you're trying to do in this world?
Again, Alexis Wyle is something that I started 13 years ago. You can always come back to a dream. You can always come back to one. So whether it's too large, too small, never give up. Just put it on the side, even if you need to go work on something else and then come back to it. Just don't close books on yourself. Never close.
That's perfect.
Wow. Yeah, because this was 13 years ago that you thought this up, right? So it's amazing that it's coming to full circle. That's awesome.
I go back to old like ideas and little things that I was like writing at that time, and I'm like, wow, like this could have been so cool even back then. But it's okay. Everything has a time too. So you have a time. There's seasons for everything.
That's right.
When it's time, it will be your time, and I truly feel like this year is my time for my stories to really develop and actually get to the people that I've been trying to get to.
So it sounds like 2024, you've made a lot of proclamations that we're going to keep you, responsible and hold you to.
Okay.
You have some options and some screenplays you need to shop around so we can get this sucker up in real live action so Alexis Wyle can live for real. Who would be the actress to play you? Are you going to play Alexis Wyle? Who would you like to play Alexis Wyle?
Oh yeah, let me. Okay.
Yeah. Why not?
You should.
You know who I think? I think the girl from Spider-Man that played in Dune.
Oh, Zendaya?
Oh,
Zendaya.
Zendaya.
Really? Okay.
I could see her
Zendaya.
playing.
Okay.
I mean, maybe. I mean, geez, I don't know. I might just need like her, the singer.
Oh.
Because she
Yeah.
acts too. I think that she could pull off Alexis.
Yeah, I can see it. I can see it.
We're gonna clip and send it to her. So we can-
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say,
I-
and just because I think she's awesome. Rosario Dawson would be dope too.
She's one cool. She's very cool too. I saw her last year at MegaCon. She's very
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
We can help you. We can consult. Whatever you need from us, we can consult and help you. We'll sit at tables if you need to. We'll do auditions. This
We'll
is
do
what
the
we
screenings.
do.
Hey.
Right. Exactly. Training, arm to arm combat training. I mean, I can do it. We all can do it. I know Tempo's got, he's ready.
Yeah, he's like the martial artist right
I'm
there.
a blue belt in jiu-jitsu, so
Yeah,
Oh.
see.
All my stunt doubles.
There you go.
Have
There you go.
Alexis. You can be the
There you
stunt-
go. We've had a great time with you. I think one of the key things is that, as you can tell, we're really invested in your book and in your characters. We can't wait to see what happens next. Well, thank you so much. We really appreciate you hanging with us. Back to Basics Comic World Podcast. We adore you. We think that you are on your way up. We definitely know that your book is going to be optioned at some point. Hello,
Yes.
HBO. I don't care who it is. Netflix. Put the money in her hand. Let her direct it. She knows best. Okay, this is what we do. So we'll make sure that we put it out there. But we're looking forward to your success in the future, and we're just so elated that you chose the time to hang out with us, and look forward to seeing your book signing. Could you remind people about the book signing coming up?
Yes, again, it's April 26th. Gods and Monsters is the shop. So they're off International Drive, very cool shop. And they have the bar inside. So if you just want a little drinky, you can come hang out.
My name is Gen X.
This is Miss Ebony Keys.
And your boy Tempos.
And thank y'all for tuning in to the B2B podcast. Jamie, you want to sign off?
Oh, just follow. Keep up.
Awesome. I love me some Jamie McAfee. Y'all better follow her right now. As soon as this is over and you finish watching it, I don't care what you do. Follow her. So enjoy your week, your weekend. And this is the Back to Basics, a comic book podcast. Peace.